Welcome. We're here. Are we live? We're good. Microphone's on. Sweet. Welcome to episode 9 of Positive Reinforcement. Next week is going to be special. I mean, every week is special in one way or another, but next week is our Halloween episode. So I'm excited. I'm going to be dressed up while giving the podcast, and you'll finally be able to see what my costume is and what the PLC's costume is, what all the other world literature teachers' costumes are, and it's going to be really cool. Hope everybody's week is going well. Remember, if you're sharing this podcast, please use the hashtag PRPod. Share it, get the word out there. Let's get this family growing, my man. Let's do this. And my women. Today is October 23rd. That's when I recorded it anyway. You're probably watching this on October 24th or later. So, I hope that the future is bright. I hope that the world didn't end yet. That would suck. But, here we are, and we're going to make the best of today. So let's get right into it. Last Saturday, my band, A Dollar Underwater, played at Zach's. I kept saying Zach's Brewery, but the company is called Zach's Brewing. So no one corrected me on that. Thank you all very much for nothing. Show was super fun, though. Haven't played outside like that in a long time. We kind of played outside the brewing company. We weren't inside. The inside looked cool, but the outside just had a cool atmosphere, a cool vibe. And lots of people showed up, and it was really fun. We opened up, and, anytime I look up from my guitar or look out while I'm singing and I see people dancing or bobbing their head or just kind of, they got that look in their eye like, I'm feeling this. It's a great feeling to know that other people are into your music or into whatever it is that you're creating and putting out there. It always means a lot. And I could go on about this for days, but I'll just say this. If you have a friend that does something creative, whether it be painting or music or writing a book or making YouTube videos or, anything, making short films, etc., and they have bravery is maybe a bit too much of a word to use here, but there is some bravery involved with putting your finished product out into the world, for sure. But if you know someone that makes these things and they decide to put it out into the world for other people to consume, and you see them share it, and you do nothing to acknowledge its existence, you're a bastard. People have no idea. Everybody can be creative. So I don't want to say uncreative people or people that aren't creative. Everybody has their passions and their things. Everybody is creative about something in some regard. It's impossible to not be creative, I think. But if you're the type of person who doesn't, put their time and effort into passions, there's nothing wrong with that. People are busy. People got their lives to live and all that. But if you've got a friend that is putting their heart and soul into something, and they put it out there, like, at the very least, click the thumbs up button to like it. It goes farther than you think it does. Further than you think it does. Farther is used to indicate distance, while further is used to indicate more abstract ideas like progressing in life or graduating from school. So there's a grammar lesson for you there. Farther versus further. So you have no idea how far that goes when you click like, when you comment on something that someone created and shared. And then obviously the best feeling ever is when you share someone else's work with your friends on social media. You have no idea what that means. Trust me. Anytime I put out a brand new song from the band, or I put out a little piece of something that I'm writing, or even this podcast, like when I put it out there and people interact with me and tell me how much they like it and when they share it. I had students the other day who posted on social media about this podcast. One student in particular from I had him as an English student. I had him in speech and debate, and he put, without any of my, requesting or anything like that, he just watched all of the episodes and he put on his Instagram, like, go check out Mr. Norris's podcast. I mean, that's a very, very, very special feeling when someone else shares your work. So if you see that somebody has been working really hard on something and they put it out into the social media world and you just keep scrolling, I got issues with you for sure. It's messed up, and I don't get paid to do this. I don't get paid to make music. I don't get paid to write books. I do it because I love it, and I like to share it with the people who are closest to me. And if you just kind of brush it off as nothing, I don't like you. So, and I remember that stuff. Say one day I make it in whatever avenue creatively that I do. Those of you who have shared stuff and who have talked to me about stuff and have shown interest in stuff that I've made, I remember you. All right? So, and everybody else that does stuff that I do, they remember those people for sure. The people who don't support, they're on a special list. Like on Billy Madison, when Steve Buscemi, he has a list of all the people that he's going to probably kill or something. And then Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison calls him and apologizes for bullying him and all that stuff. And then Steve Buscemi crosses his name off the list and then puts on lipstick. That's me anytime someone shares or likes my creative stuff. So just to give you a visual image of that. All right, here we go. So the show was a success. Bottom line, it was really, really fun. Yesterday, my wife and I went to DeCicco's, amazing food, Italian restaurant here in the Central Valley. And I think it expands a little bit past the Central Valley, if I remember. Super good food. And then after that, we went to this place called Planet Pumpkin, which is a pumpkin patch / kind of carnival-like thing over on Knees and Fresno, I think. If you haven't checked it out, it's really fun. Free, super fun. But anyway, we went there, and I haven't been to a pumpkin patch since like 2010. And I got to tell you, man, pumpkin patches, that's where it's at. If you feel like you are lacking the Halloween spirit this year, first of all, I feel super bad for you. Second, here's how you can boost it. Go to a pumpkin patch. It's magical. I mean, especially at this one, they have, stacks of hay everywhere and just the carnival rides and the fact that you're walking around on dirt, like there's something about it. Dirt and gravel and the smell of pumpkins and just that atmosphere of fall is everywhere. Oh, so beautiful. Go to a pumpkin patch, and your spirit for Halloween and your love for October will be rekindled, I promise. We were only there for 10 minutes, and I'll forever have that memory now. That's definitely now a tradition, is to go to that pumpkin patch. Love traditions, man. When traditions aren't racist, I love them. All right. So it is now toward the end of October, easily for teachers and students, just the longest month ever, no days off, just 5 weeks of straight work. But the good news is once November comes around, we got 3 weeks, and then we're off for a week, and then we come back for 2 weeks, and then bam, it's winter break. It's all downhill once November comes around. But keep pushing, teachers. No matter what, keep going. We're almost there to the end of the semester. I think it's like after this week, 6 weeks left. That's crazy. And some of that energy of that October drag is kind of showing itself with some of the teachers. And that leads me to my next topic. Sometimes, especially when you are really close with your colleagues, it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows, my friend. Like this morning during our PLC meeting, it got tense. Some people were upset. Some people were really stressed out and starting to take it out on each other. And sometimes that happens, We're not always going to get along 100% of the time. And that, everybody, is a beautiful thing. There's got to be tension in your life with the people that you love the most. Otherwise, it's just boring, That's how you grow and really learn to trust people and really learn to just be close with someone, right? You understand what pisses each other off, and you understand what buttons people have and what lines people have, and that's an important thing with establishing a real friendship. Otherwise it's just all surface level nonsense, and it's not even really real. But this morning we were just tense. Things change in the workplace, and change is always a stressful thing. I mean, this career is the epitome of change. No day is the same as the day before. And some people can't handle that, but some people do. So that's just a sign of true love and friendship when you guys fight with each other. And especially when it comes to like a shit talking level. I mean, if you're able to just rank on each other, that's the most beautiful thing of all time. Like, hey man, why do your feet smell like shit today? Or hey, why do you look like you haven't showered in a week? Like, when you're able to talk to each other about this kind of stuff and rank on each other, that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Tough love is real, genuine love. If you can't sit there and talk shit on your friends or your colleagues, you're not close with them at all. And I love that about us. We're able to do that for sure. It's a beautiful thing. All right. Serious topic, number one. What I need to start calling this something. Teacher topic. I don't know. Anyway, first real topic of the episode here is this part of the semester, October, this is when the relationships with students start to become real. Like, you see which students really kind of adhere to you and like you a lot. You see which students don't really care. You see which students have issues. You see which students, you start to see them for them at this point of the semester. And the last couple of weeks, I have noticed, a lot of students are failing all of their classes. They sometimes don't ever really appear to be in a good mood or a talkative mood. And when that happens, you as the teacher, you have to stop seeing them as a letter grade, and you have to start seeing them as a person. A lot of teachers might, they might disengage with a student because they're the F student and they give up on them, and that's not right. Even students that are a hard time, even the students that give you crap every single day. For instance, I had a girl up until 3 weeks ago in my second period who would constantly just be rolling her eyes, who would constantly be just like, oh my gosh, what time does this class end? Out loud, literally. And it was, it hurt, I take that stuff personally. Try not to, but I do. And up until 3 weeks ago, this was her almost every single class period, failing everything, just not caring at all. And then finally, about 3 weeks ago, this girl turned it all around. And now all she wants is to succeed. And, I'm not taking full credit for this by any means. We've got psychologists and counselors and all kinds of things that are involved here. But I never, outside of my own mind, showed this student that I was frustrated or showed this student that I was fed up or anything like that. I kept with her. I stayed right by her side, asking her what she needed clarification on. What do you need help with? Come in at lunch, come in the morning, whatever you got to do, calling her parents, all these things to try to get her to succeed. I always stuck with those things. And now here we are. And the other day she said, you know what, Mr. Norris, your class is the only class I look forward to. And my little teacher heart just... That's my heart melting. Just... That was me after hearing that. It made my freaking life, dude. Not even my day, not even my week, not even my year. My whole life was made with that comment right there. And that's when I realized it was worth it. It was worth it to always see a student as a person, to never take things personally, and to never give up. Because one day, out of nowhere, they're going to turn it around. Not all the time, unfortunately, but sometimes they will. And this was a time where this kid turned it around, and now all she cares about is working, all she cares about is succeeding, all she cares about is finding the joy in life. And I'd like to think that me not giving up on her was a little part of that. And, it's a great feeling, and it's those moments where you realize how important your job is. You never know what a kid is going through. And when they lash out at you, if you take it personally, that bridge is going to be hard to reconcile and build back. But if you stick with them and try not to take things that they say to you personally, they're going to notice that and hopefully turn it around because they want to do good for you. They want to impress you. They want to prove to you that they're not this kid that just doesn't care, And that's why we have to see students as students and not as numbers or a grade, right? It's so important to check up on them. And also to do it not in front of the entire class. A lot of times when I notice a student is out of it or they look upset or distressed, I'll wait until all of the other students are working and then just, lean next to them, ask them how they're doing, tell them to come outside and we'll talk outside the door. So no one else has to hear. It's just me and the student. And I've had a lot of those conversations over the years. I had one student while I was student teaching that my master teacher, he forced me to do this. I hate confrontation. I hate talking to people that I don't really know one-on-one. So that is very, very hard for me. While I was student teaching about 8 years ago now, I had this student who was visually upset in class, very distressed, kept talking back at me, just refused to do any of the work. And I had no idea what to do. My master teacher was sitting at his desk watching all of this happen. And after class ended, I was just defeated. And I didn't know what to do. And he came up to me, my master teacher, and said, look, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to that kid's class. You're going to ask his teacher if you could talk to him outside. And you are going to figure out what the problem is and fix it. And I said, what? No, I can't do that. But he forced me. He gave me the kid's room number, and I went to his next class. I pulled him out of class, and I talked to him outside, and I had no idea what I was going to say. I had no idea what I was going to lead with. I didn't know what was going to happen, but the words out of my mouth were, "What's going on with you? How are you? Is there anything upsetting you?" Something like that, along those lines. And when I asked that question, his energy just kind of shifted. I saw in his eyes, what? Like this acknowledgement of, you care about me? That's the feeling, the vibe I got just by the look in his eyes. And we had a good talk. He was not getting along with his dad, and he was, really wanting to do good in football. His grades were low. His coach was on him about his grades and not letting him play and all this stuff. And he just let all of this out. And I followed it up with, hey, if you need some extra time, that's okay. But take advantage of the extra time that I give you. Come in at lunch and I'll help you out. Come in before school and I'll help you out. And the next day he came in at lunch and I sat down with him and he did his work and he got it done and he understood it better and his grade went up. And from that day forward and the rest of the time I was there as a student teacher, he tried really hard and a relationship started right then and there. So because of my master teacher forcing me to go talk to that student outside of another class, I learned the importance of one-on-one and the importance of showing students that you care on a genuine level, that you see them past the role of a student. You see them as a person. And that was a really eye-opening experience for me. And holy crap, this podcast is freaking emotional and really, really serious. So here is something to derail that seriousness. If you're only listening, you can't see what I'm doing on the podcast, but I'm dancing. All right, we're back in it. Man, my thighs were so sore after the show. I've played so many shows in the past, like countless. And I was in a pop punk band for most of those years. I'm jumping off drums and hopping all around, and my thighs never hurt. But this time they did. I wasn't even jumping around. I was just kind of dancing around. So I don't know what's going on. I exercise. I don't really focus on my legs, but maybe that's it. Hey, listen to yourself and maybe you'll figure out the problem, Mr. Norris. Do legs. Work on your legs. That's the issue right there. Anyway, about 23 minutes in. Here's another thing I wanted to add. This happened today. Sometimes, my number one pet peeve, my number one bugaboo, when I'm up in the front giving directions and leading a class discussion, if there's students who are like lightly chit-chatting in the corner, my blood boils so much that you could cook macaroni and cheese inside of my blood. Can't stand it. This stuff right here. Like I'm trying to talk like, all right, guys, let's open our books to page blah, 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 blah. Today we're going to talk about symbolism and how Gregor as a cockroach is actually how he feels on the inside and how he feels his relationships are creating this lack of love and care in his life and da-da-da-da. While I'm talking about all of this is what I hear in the back of the room. When I hear that, cook macaroni and cheese inside of my blood because that's how much my blood is boiling. Hate it. I hate this. I would much rather hear like whispering, like that might not bother me. If kids whispered like that, I wouldn't even notice probably. But when that extra octave, I guess, of the voice comes, like when the vocal cords activate and you go from into this. Shut up! I can't stand it. You want to make Mr. Norris angry, do that. Anyway, that happened this morning. 2 girls here on my first period. Very nice girls. But they were doing that, and I felt even worse about it because they were talking about the metamorphosis, right? They were actually actively talking about the thing that I wanted them to talk about. Anyway, I blew up on them, and in front of the entire class, I was like, girls, you are starting to really make me feel disrespected. Stop talking. Like I said something exactly like that. And the class got dead silent because I rarely blow up. When they see Mr. Norris get angry, they get kind of scared. And I don't ever want to get to that point, but that'll do it, man. That will do it. Get the macaroni and cheese out and make sure you got the extra cheese because my blood is boiling so much it might make the cheese a little bit runny. So get an extra cheese packet in there because my blood's boiling so much. Stop with the tiny, the murmurs. Stop it. Anyway, point of this segment here is, one second. We're experiencing technical difficulties. We'll be right back right now. Okay, sorry about that. I noticed in the track that I'm recording, there was a random piece of audio about to come up, and I don't know what it was, so I needed to delete it. Anyway, my whole point of this little segment here, it's so important to have a post-conversation with the students that you get pissed off at. Don't just get angry with them and leave it like that. It's, at least I think it's not good. So after the class ended, I went up to the girls and I was like, hey guys, look, I snapped at you and I just wanted to make sure that, we're good. Make sure you don't talk while I'm talking. I cleared the air a little bit. I don't want them to think that I hate them or that I'm, I don't want them to think I hate them. So I do that to bring us back on common ground. And that's when they were like, oh, yeah, Mr. Norris, we were trying to talk about the question that you had asked all of us. And that's what made me feel even worse. But, that's just how I am. When I'm up there talking, I should be the only voice in the room. And that's my number one for sure. I do have an extra topic here. We're at 27 minutes. I don't know if I want to talk about it or not. I think I might just end it right here. It's a good topic, too. I'll wait. I'll save this one for Halloween. Yeah, I can squeeze it in. We're good. All right. That was a fun episode. Really serious at times. Very kind of sad. But real stuff, man. That's what this podcast is all about. Life of an English teacher. This is the real stuff. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to, APK your way through a lesson. Nah, that's the boring stuff. You deal with that on your own. If you don't know how to activate prior knowledge, then get out. Anyway, that's it, guys. We're 28 minutes in. I'm done. I'm feeling good about this podcast. Next week, I'm excited for Halloween already. Man, I don't want it to end. Soak it up. I mean, super excited because Christmas is next, and Christmas is the best. Oh, holy night. I can't wait for Christmas. But Halloween, like Christmas, has always been up here, right? Way up here. That's my favorite time of the year. Since high school, well, as a little kid, Halloween was right here with Christmas too. And then I started high school, and I just stopped caring about Halloween. And then college, I just stopped caring even more. And then suddenly, I don't know why, but maybe because I became such a big fan of horror movies in the last decade of my life, and that made me appreciate Halloween even more. I don't know, man, but Halloween now, like Christmas is up here. This is Halloween, like right there. Super pumped. And it's almost, it's a week away. And we got a week left to celebrate. So watch those Halloween movies, go to the pumpkin patch, go to a haunted house, get a Halloween costume, go to a party, create your own party, do whatever, because we got to soak it up. After this, we got Thanksgiving, and then the winter wonderland will commence. And I do it a little bit bigger in my classroom for Christmas time. You know what? I think I might even get a full-on Christmas tree this year. I used to have a Christmas tree in my room, and then the lights just kind of broke. It was an old, cheap tree to begin with, so might need an upgrade. Anyway, I am done. Thank you all for tuning in for episode 9 of Positive Reinforcement We'll see you next week for Halloween. Time to get spooky. We'll see you later. Goodbye. Love you all.